Today on Beyond Boundaries, a crash in Pakistan kills dozens. Now the owner of the airline is being barred from leaving the country. And explosions continue in homes as the UN Security Council votes to send 300 observers to monitor a ceasefire. The watchman who was accused of killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin is now free after posting bond at a Florida courtroom. Beyond Boundaries starts right now. Welcome, I'm Yusuf Taha. The search for remains at the scene of a commercial plane crash in Pakistan continues. Officials have confirmed that all 127 people have died. The owner of the Boja airline is being barred from leaving the country. On Saturday, Farooq Boja tried to leave the country following the crash, but Pakistani officials denied his exit, pending the investigation. The Boeing 737 was en route from Karachi to Islamabad, where it hit cloudy weather. It crashed on the runway, with 127 people confirmed dead. At least 120 bodies have been recovered from the scene. US and Afghani relations may be improving. A partnership agreement was brokered between the two countries. The deal will ensure US military and financial support to Afghanistan until 2024. Afghani security forces will be taking over security when foreign troops pull out. Britain and the United States plan to withdraw in 2014. Covering the Middle East, explosions continue to be heard throughout the city of Homs, just days after the short-lived ceasefire between Syrian forces and opposition fighters. UN Security Council voted to send in another 300 observers. Originally, 6 monitors were placed in the country, but locals demanded that not enough was being done by the observers. The local coordination committees of Syria says the explosions rocked the neighborhoods of Baba Amr and Inshat. The violence picked up over the weekend after a halt to the violence on Saturday when 2 UN monitors were present in the city. Protests raged on in Bahrain over the weekend during the Grand Prix race, hoping to bring democratic reforms to the country. Abdul Hadi al-Khawaja has been on a hunger strike for more than 2 months in protest of the repressive regime. Thousands protested outside of the race hoping to release al-Khawaja. Police arrested 7 female activists holding signs demanding the release of al-Khawaja. Grand Prix officials feared protests would stop the annual race, but authorities were able to quell and contain the protesters. The race continued as scheduled. Israel's refusal to apologize for the attack on the Mavi Marmara in 2010 may have just cost them their ticket to NATO's summit next month. Turkey has allegedly refused to allow Israel to take part in the summit for its attack on the Turkish activists aboard the ship. The vessel was carrying supplies into the Gaza Strip to end the Israeli embargo in the area. Turkey has neither denied or confirmed the claim. Covering Africa, Egyptian oil companies have terminated a deal to supply Israel with gas following months of attacks on the highly contested pipeline. Egypt supplied 40% of Israel's natural gas, which is the country's main energy source. Officials suspect the move may be the beginning of an end to a shaky peace between the regional rivals. All Egyptian companies involved in the deal deny any government involvement in the decision. They say the move was strictly business. Sudan and South Sudan may be on the brink of an all-out war. Sudanese troops launched 3 waves of attacks more than 9 kilometers inside South Sudan's border. This comes just days after the South announced it was pulling all forces from a disputed border town. South Sudanese intelligence officials say that the Sudanese forces have attacked with artillery and tanks. Officials say the act has been deemed a continuous provocation of war by the Sudanese army. Covering Europe, the popular presidential candidate Francois Hollande has won the first round of presidential elections. But he's not out of the woods yet. On May 6th, he's facing off with the rival opponent Nicolas Sarkozy. Sarkozy, the incumbent candidate, has a tough road ahead of him. With a dismal economy, Sarkozy has faced harsh criticism for his immigration reforms that have targeted France's large African and Middle Eastern population. Hollande has said he would refocus Europe's crisis response on growth and jobs if he wins the presidency. In US headlines, George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch volunteer charged with the murder of the 17-year-old Trayvon Martin in February, is now a free man. After an emotional bond hearing in which Zimmerman apologized to the Martin family, the 28-year-old posted $150,000 bond. In late February, Zimmerman shot and killed Martin in a Sanford, Florida neighborhood. Zimmerman claims that he shot the boy in self-defense after he fit the description of robbers in the area. Zimmerman is being forced to wear a GPS tracking device at all times to notify authorities of his whereabouts. He is reported to be living outside of the state of Florida for his own safety. Covering Asia, more than a year after a devastating earthquake and tsunami hit northeastern Japan, the nuclear contamination has prevented refugees from returning back to their homes. Record levels of radiation are being reported by local newspapers. Officials say that 6 of the 7 municipalities will have dangerous levels of radiation for at least a decade. The national government has come under criticism for the inability to come up with a decontamination plan. Areas around the plant are experiencing surges of radiation, leaking contaminated water. Thanks for joining us on Beyond Boundaries, where we bring you the news beyond all borders. Head to our website at WNYMuslims.org and follow us on Twitter and like our Facebook page. See you next week.